Have you ever found yourself paralyzed by a big decision? We've all been there. Our brains can get overwhelmed with choices, whether it's deciding on a career change, making a significant investment, or even choosing where to live. Big decisions can be daunting. They're like those choose-your-own-adventure books, but with a lot more at stake. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that decision fatigue is a real thing? It's fascinating. Our brains can only make so many good decisions in a day before they start getting tired. Decision fatigue means that after making many decisions, our ability to make well-thought-out choices decreases. This is why, at the end of a long day, we're more inclined to pick the simpler, quicker options. Humans make an astonishing number of decisions every single day, from what to wear, to what to eat, to how to respond to that last email. It's no wonder that when a big decision comes along, it can feel like the weight of the world is on our shoulders. But guess what? There are ways to make this process easier, ways to cut through the noise and get to the heart of the matter. Want to know how to make better decisions without feeling exhausted? Stick around! Today, we're diving into 7 psychological hacks for better decision-making. Ready? Let's get started! First up, tip number 1, use the OODA Loop. The OODA Loop stands for observe, orient, decide, and act. This method was originally developed for military strategy, but works wonders for everyday decisions too. Observe the situation, orient yourself by analyzing the information, decide on the best course of action, and then act. Simple, right? Using this loop helps keep your decisions dynamic and adaptable. Let's break it down. Observe. This is where you gather all the necessary information. Look at the details around you, collect data, and get a good understanding of the current situation. It's like being a detective. You need all the clues to solve the case. Orient now. Analyze the information you've gathered. Understand how it fits into the bigger picture. This step is about figuring out what the information means and how it impacts your options. Think of it as putting together a puzzle. You need to see how all the pieces connect. Decide, based on your analysis, choose the best course of action. This is where you make your decision. Don't overthink it. Just go with the option that seems most logical based on your observations and orientation. Act. Implement your decision. Take action and see how it plays out. Remember, this is a loop, so after acting, you go back to observing the new situation, and the cycle continues. To see how this works in practice, let's say you're deciding whether to accept a new job offer. First, observe. Gather all the information about the new job: salary, benefits, company culture, commute time, and career growth opportunities. Then, orient. Compare this information with your current job. Analyze how the new job aligns with your long-term goals, financial needs, and work-life balance. Next, decide. Based on your analysis, decide if the new job offer is better overall than your current job. Finally, act. If you decide to take the job, accept the offer and start preparing for the transition. If not, inform the potential employer of your decision and continue with your current job. Using the OODA Loop in this way helps ensure that your decisions are well-informed and thoughtfully made, without getting stuck in overthinking. And hey, if you're still unsure, maybe it's time for a coffee break. Tip number 2, embrace the pre-mortem technique. This one's a game changer. Imagine your decision has already failed. What went wrong? By thinking this way, you can identify potential pitfalls before they happen. It's like having a crystal ball that shows you all the problems before they occur. So, instead of just hoping for the best, you're preparing for the worst, but in a good way. Here's how to do it. Step 1. Imagine that your decision has completely flopped. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Sounds like a nightmare, right? But hang in there. It's useful. Step 2. Write down all the reasons why your decision failed. Be brutally honest. This isn't about being pessimistic. It's about being realistic. Think about all the possible mistakes and challenges. Step 3. Now, brainstorm solutions for each potential problem. How can you prevent these issues? What can you do differently? This step turns your worries into actionable plans. Step 4. Implement these preventive measures as you move forward with your decision. By doing this, you're more likely to avoid these pitfalls and achieve success. Try it out. Visualize the worst-case scenario. List potential reasons for this failure. Strategize on how to prevent these issues. Implement preventive measures as you move forward. Next up, tip number 3. Use decision trees. Picture this: a flowchart that maps out all possible outcomes of your decision. It's like a map for your brain. Decision trees help break down complex decisions into manageable parts. You can see all your options and their potential consequences clearly, Creating a decision tree is pretty simple. Start with your main decision at the top. Then, draw branches for each possible option. From each option, draw more branches for the possible outcomes of that option. Keep going until you've mapped out all the potential paths. This visual representation makes it easier to compare choices and see the likely results. To make a decision tree, draw a tree with branches for each option. Add sub-branches for possible outcomes. Evaluate each path's pros and cons. Choose the path with the best overall outcome. All right, here comes. Tip number 4. Consider the 10-10-10 rule. Think about this. How will this decision impact you in 10 minutes? 10 months? 10 years? This rule helps balance short-term and long-term thinking, reducing impulsivity and increasing the chances of making decisions that align with your goals. Here's the process. When faced with a decision, pause and consider how you'll feel about it in the short term, in the next 10 minutes. Then, think about the medium term, in 10 months. Finally, imagine the long-term impact, in 10 years. This helps you see the broader consequences of your choices and ensures you're not just reacting impulsively. Apply it by reflecting on the immediate impact of the decision, considering how you'll feel about it in the near future, imagining the long-term consequences, weighing all these factors to make a balanced decision. And here comes tip number 5. Implement the Pareto principle. Ever heard of the 80-20 rule? It suggests that 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. When making decisions, focus on the critical few factors that will have the biggest impact. It's about working smarter, not harder. Here's how to use it. Identify the tasks or factors that will make the most significant difference. These are the 20% that will give you 80% of the results. Focus your energy on these high-impact areas. Don't get bogged down by the minor details that don't really matter. To use the Pareto principle, identify the key factors that will influence your decision. Focus your efforts on these high-impact areas. Minimize time spent on less significant details. Reassess periodically to ensure you're on track. Now let's talk about tip number 6, practice reflective thinking. Reflective thinking is all about learning from past decisions. By analyzing what worked and what didn't, you can improve future decision-making. It's like having a personal coach in your brain. Here's how to do it. Take time to review your past decisions regularly. Identify what went well and what didn't. Think about how you can apply these lessons in the future. Keeping a decision journal can be incredibly helpful. Write down your decisions, the outcomes, and your thoughts on what you could improve. This process helps you learn and grow from each decision. To practice reflective thinking, take time to review past decisions regularly. Identify what went well and what didn't. Think about how you can apply these lessons in the future. Keep a decision journal to track your progress. And now for tip number 7, engage in group decision-making. 2 heads are better than 1, right? Group decision-making brings diverse perspectives and can reduce individual biases. Techniques like brainstorming and the Delphi method, iterative surveys with experts, can enhance collective decision-making. Here's the approach. Gather a diverse group of people. Encourage open discussion and brainstorming. Strive for agreement, but be open to different viewpoints. The diversity of thought helps ensure all angles are considered. And there you have it, 7 psychological hacks for better decision-making. These tips can help make those tough choices a bit easier. It's all about finding the right balance and strategy that works for you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment below. What's your go-to decision-making hack? Let's chat about it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.